It's time for another Mastercast, and this time I'm squaring it off against my Jedi Master, Felkon, in a High Elf versus Dark Elf game. So let's take a look here at this little 1v1 before we kind of get going into the thick of the fight. My build is comprised pretty much of 2 archers, as a kind of a really hard staple and anti-skirmish cav and large creature product, I guess you could say. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of spearmen, 2 units of swordmasters of Hoeth, 2 Illyrian Reaver archers, my dreaded combination of both the Flamespire Phoenix and Tyrion in conjunction with the Loremaster of Hoeth using Spirit Leech, Harmonic Convergence, and Earthblood. Taking a look over here at Felkon's dreaded army of the Blessed Dread, as it were, we have a lot of fun picks. So let's pause this real quick and take a look. So what we're going to be doing here is, guys, we're going to watch the entirety of this fight. Then I'm going to jump into some of the lessons that Felkon taught me from this fight, as well as the hammer of the game. Of course, the big moment in which case one faction or the other got an upper hand or just a really cool charge, something of the sort. So taking a look across the front line, we can see a lot of Dread Spears, a lot of Bleak Swords, 3 units of each. In fact, 4 units of the Dread Spears, 3 units of the Bleak Swords. And 1, 2, 3 units of Dark Riders with Peter Crossbows, Lokir Fellheart himself on a dragon, the Sorceress of Shadow with Occam's Mindrazor and Pit of Shades, as well as the Knights of the Ebon Claw, which are a fun regiment of renown. You don't see these guys too often, unfortunately. They don't suffer Rampage, which is really cool, and they have a nice AP characteristic of 48 weapon strength. In addition, of course, the Chill of Sontar, a favorite of Felkon's, and the Hellebroni, which are Dread Spears with their poison ability. So we're going to set this into normal motion and see how this goes. Then after this fight, of course, we'll take a look at the lessons I've learned and the hammer of the game. Illyrian Reaver archers, though, already getting some good shots off onto Lokir Fellheart. One thing that's actually kind of hard to really notice is that these guys are actually very good at skirmishing against dragons. They shoot directly up, so they can actually hit dragons and do quite a bit of damage. Dodge right out of a breath attack here onto those Illyrian Reaver archers, about to do a little bit of damage to them. Only got about 2 models. It's 2 models off of them. So as we wheel our forces over here to kind of meet the Dark Elves, one thing I would always recommend you guys doing is turning on unit icons and the selection markers so that you can better see the enemy army as they move about. Getting a good overview of the battlefield here, we can again still see we're just kind of doing some strafing shots into Lokir Fellheart. Like I was saying, those Illyrian archers are doing some good damage into them, just kind of doing a little bit of prodding shots here and there. Our archer line, though, is waiting to get into a really good juicy target. You want to focus your archers. You don't want them to split their fire. But now, boom, getting some good shots here right onto Big Daddy Lokir Fellheart. He gets a charge right onto our Illyrian Reaver archers, knocking one of those models out of the game, and boom, oh, let's take a look at this one. If I can get it in just in time. Boom, right down the breast of these Swordmasters of Hoeth. That is going to slow them down from the Chill of Sontar's Frostbite ability on his breath attack. You can see here our Illyrian Reaver archers push out and get screened a little bit by those Knights of the Ebon Claw. While the other one, I'm sorry, Ebon Claw. Chill of Sontar, though, charging right into these spearmen, just knocking them over as we get the majority of our battle line moving in to do some fighting. Now, Lokir Fellheart is looking to do some damage here. He's going to be dropping a breath attack, probably on these archers, trying to get abreast of them. I tried to try and compensate for that, but I unfortunately did miss it. And we can see that these Swordmasters of Hoeth are getting focused down so hard. The 1 unit of Dark Riders was shut down by our archers, but not enough to really matter here because both of the other units are firing still. My other Illyrian Reaver archer unit was able to get in the background and do some damage onto these guys fleeing, keeping them out of the fight, while our other one gets chased off by the Knights of the Ebon Claw. Now taking a look here, though, check out some juke moves. We've got some action from Tyrion. We got a charge in from Big Daddy Lokir Fellheart. But right at the last moment, boom, right behind him, and a swoop in from our Flamespire Phoenix. Now, Lokir Fellheart has a lot of options to really boost his damage. Occam's Mindrazor has just dropped off on him, giving him magic damage. Look at that, 780 weapon strength from just Occam's Mindrazor. Now, Dreaded Duelist drops on him as well. He has a dreaded 81 melee attack. Now, in conjunction, though, I respond by doing Harmonic Convergence onto Tyrion. I know that's the big target that Felkon's going for. Now his melee defense is at 96, but we still have some other tricks up our sleeves that we can use. Stand your ground, boom, bringing him to 120 melee defense, able to negate that massive amount of Winds of Magic contribution from Occam's Mindrazor and Dreaded Duelist going off. 81 and 780 is just going to be negated by that 120 melee defense, and he does have 125 armor. That's quite nice. So taking a look at the rest of this battle, though, we can see the Chill of Sontar has made short work of this unit of Spearmen. This one unit of Swordmasters of Hoeth is just now finishing up this unit of Dread Spears, but at the same time routing. And we can see our unit of Spearmen from our left flank are starting to push into these two Bleak Swords and Red Swords. But taking a look at this little fight here, we can see that we're getting a nice little upper hand. Getting the Loremaster of Hoeth is jumping into this. Our archers, unfortunately, are split firing onto Lokir Felheart and the Skirmisher Cab. The best target for them right now is going to be the Skirmisher Cab. When you have Skirmish Cab, the Dark Riders with repeater crossbows, when you've got something like this, you want to be able to, and unfortunately we did miss this. This was a Sun Fang that dropped right here and did some good damage. The archers are going to be able to shut down Dark Riders with repeater crossbows quite quickly. So you want to really focus on them. Getting a nice little Spirit Leech onto him from our Loremaster of Hoeth. Double diving yet again at Tyrion and the Flamespire Phoenix, trying to finish off mighty Lokir Felheart here. Murder's Mastery and Prowess, whichever one it is for the unit, has kicked off, and boom! What is going to go down right here? A ripping and gripping Pit of Shades. The Doom Vagina just ripping through our Swordmasters of Hoeth as the Flamespire Phoenix goes to chase off Lokir Felheart. So right now we have a pretty good upper hand on Felkon. We have been able to shut down a lot of really high value units. We were able to shut down his leadership in Lokir Felheart, but another Chill of Sontar breath attack. This is something that Felkon is so good at, is getting these really good breath attacks on really high value targets. In this case, the Spearmen are not a high value target, but they're a lot of sustain for my army. We've just lost this unit of Swordmasters of Hoeth, the other scary infantry unit that we can field. So really what Felkon is doing is just looking to just end the resistance of the infantry game. We've won a lot of the big fights with the Dark Riders. Our archers have been used really well, but look at this. Unfortunately, the Hellebronai have gotten on this unit of archers, completely ridden them down and shut them down. Their poison attacks able to slow them down entirely. Tyrion, though, trying to chase off this sorceress. We have Occam's Mindrazor dropping onto the Chill of Sontar again here, and Tyrion trying to juke out of this and get to the sorceress, trying to get into that goodie jar. You can see archer play coming out from both of our forces. The Loremaster of Hoeth helping to deal with this unit of Bleak Swords over here. But look at this coming in from Felkon. These guys were used in the reserve to shut down that unit of Illyrian Reaver archers, and they're jumping in now to add some mass to the Chill of Sontar's predicament with two Spearman units. Now, one thing that Felkon was talking to me about is that when people see Spearmen, they think, oh, sorry, that's there. Aha, Spearmen. Anti-large. These guys are going to be so good at shutting down a large target. That's not necessarily true. In fact, all anti-large infantry, for the most part, even if it is anti-large in AP, isn't going to be able to do a lot of damage like, say, an archer unit can. If you think about it, if this entire unit of Spearmen were to fully surround the War Hydra, you're really still looking at like 10 or 15 models poking at a Hydra. You look at an archer unit, those are the things that are the true anti-large. Especially if they got AP, they're going to be able to pour so much damage onto this thing. So you're looking at an archer unit, 65 models in it, however many are in here, what, 68? 68 shots landing onto the Chill of Sontar, some of them doing AP damage, some of them not. So you look at those things. You don't really focus so much on your Spearmen as your anti-large, but you look at stuff like your big heavy hitters, like your Tyrion, your range units, things that can really crack open the damage of by volume or by big burst attacks. The Spearmen are not really going to be able to do much against the Chill of Sontar, especially with it being able to just kind of move through the unit. But as we kind of get this fight underway here, another Spirit Leech on from our Loremaster of Hoeth, trying to shut down the casting still. But look at this big charge in from the Knights of the Ebon Claw, trying to just stop that big shutdown of the Sorceress of Shadow. We have our Flamespire Phoenix coming in that has just completely routed Lokir Felheart off the table now, and trying to aid in this situation. We have two real big single entity units against one scary one. The Chill of Sontar is a pretty devious little beast. It has 3,900 health left right now. It does have an innate regeneration, and it has an ability to heal, which we'll take a look at in a little bit here. But as these units kind of coalesce and go for another little Helm's Beat pocket over here, we get the Illyrian Reaver Archers charging through this unit of Bleak Swords and right into these Dark Riders. Taking a look at the stat line here, Dark Riders have, what is it, 18 and 16 melee attack, melee attack and defense. Illyrian Reavers, though, have 32 and 34. They will win in a melee fight in this situation. Bringing our big Flamespark Phoenix, though, we have routed off the Sorcerer of Shadows, and I believe it's Terrified or Routed? Terrified right now. So she will come back, but we have the Lore Master and Big Daddy Tyrion on the Chill of Sontar right now, trying to just pop this big boy. If we can get that Chill of Sontar down, it's a real big win in our favor. I'm getting just kind of some of our units kind of straggling around, finishing off each other, doing what we can to kind of ebb that balance of power bar further and further in my favor. Right now, it's a little bit, for me, I'd say 55 to 45 right now. Flamespark Phoenix going for the Sorceress of Shadows, and we have the Knights of the Ebon Claw chasing after these Illyrian Reaver Archers. And we have Big Daddy Tyrion again coming right here for the Chill of Sontar, going for that slash right through the back of it. You see that little explosion there, that little green explosion? So what that was, and I really want to focus on this because it's so huge, is this right here. Another takes its place. So when the Chill of Sontar reaches below 50% health, it's going to get a burst of health every 60 seconds for 4 times. So every time it drops below 50% health, or if it's below 50% health, as long as that 60-second recycle has gone off, it'll get a burst of health. It's what keeps the War Hydra in the game for so long. In addition, it also has regeneration. So keep that in mind when it comes to this thing really slogging out towards the end of the game. It can stay in the fight for a lot longer, much in the same way that the Flamespire Phoenix can, with its ability to maybe regenerate, depending on if it gets lucky. Unfortunately, coming back up into the air, though, weren't able to get any really good hits onto the Sorceress to try and shut it down. Looks like she's probably going to be coming back to health here because of the fury of the Knights of the Ebon Claw pushing the Flamespire Phoenix off of that engagement. Bleak Sword's coming out here as we go to kind of recoalesce. Felkon was telling me, in these moments, you want to really bring your army back together and consolidate your forces. You don't really have any threat to your blobs anymore, so you can really start to blob up at this point. Bring our single entities onto the fight together here, maybe trying to get a last-minute Earth Blood off as we get that final kind of end game push here. This is really down to the wire right now. You can see that the balance of power bar is really kind of ticking back and forth as units flee off the table like the Bleak Swords here, which are now completely shattered. A nice bombing run on both of those units really helped bringing that balance of power more in my favor as we shatter 2 units with just 2 bombs alone from the Flamespire Phoenix. The archers here trying to kind of get some distance on the Dark Riders, but to also return fire into them. We're using our Lore Master of Hoeth, though, to do some damage into these units, while our Flamespire Phoenix goes for the Hellebronai. Which, to be totally honest with you, not a good call on my part, as I realized halfway through. Recalling him, bringing him back, we have another surge coming in from Felkon's Big Daddy unit with the Chill of Sontar and the Knights of the Ebon Claw. A real dangerous duo here. Archers now into the Dark Riders, trying to shut them down. Bring that skirmisher cav out of the fight. Remember, these guys do have AP damage, so any of their shots on target, watch, they're just going to chip away that Flamespire Phoenix. Now, we don't have too many great targets left, so I'm doing bombing runs onto the Knights of the Ebon Claw, which is not a real great one. But our Lore Master of Hoeth over here getting caught out. Boom! Big shot in from the Chill of Sontar. That is just devastating on there. Boom! Another one. Look at his health just getting chipped down. Trying to get this heal off here, but right before we can, he is terrified, unfortunately. That unfortunately brings out the Lore Master of Hoeth out of this fight and our archers. So we're stuck with these two. We have these 2 great units left, swooping down onto the Might of the Chill of Sontar, trying to bring the flames of Ulthuan onto the mighty dreaded War Hydra. And this is it. This is the all-in engagement right here. So really kind of focusing on this. We'll hold down the space bar so you can see the health bars. You can really see that this is the fight that we have to win. Chill of Sontar kind of circling around. It's getting that 60-second recast of it. That was a sun thing that we just completely whiffed. a 60-second of the recast on its health, waiting for that to kind of recycle a little bit. It is below 50% health, so it can still get another heal. It hasn't hit its healing cap just yet. Flamespire Phoenix coming out of this engagement, trying to get some good distance on this stuff, and hopefully able to do another bombing run, but we'll see what happens here. Occam's Mindrazor coming down onto the Chill of Sontar here, because remember that Shadow Sorceress is still in the fight. So we're going to see what happens in this big blob here. Again, I'm going to bring these banners out of the situation here. We can see, oh man, Flamespire Phoenix just getting completely slapped around. Oh, a big explosion of health. Flamespire Phoenix, another explosion of health as well. Everyone is healing up like crazy right now. The Flamespire Phoenix is unfortunately, looks like they're completely shattered and or terrified. I think it's just terrified. Yeah, routing off the map, and then so is Tyrion. And at the last minute there, it is a valiant defeat and a win for Felkon. Let's take a look at the post-battle report here before taking a look at some of the big mistakes that I personally made that Felkon was able to school me on. So, Chill of Sontar did a great job. It's to be expected. Really good breath attacks here. We've taken a look at the breath attacks for the Chill of Sontar. It has some of the best in the absolute game, or absolute best in the game. Now, 116 kills on the Hellbroni is huge for just a Dread Spear unit against High Elves. Those are high-value kills no matter what you're looking at when it comes to High Elves. This isn't the Skaven we're playing against. In addition to, the Knights of the Evenclaw were able to shut down a lot of really good units there. But looking through my army, the Swordmasters of Hoeth were unfortunately not able to come online too well, but they were able to do over 100 kills between the both of them, and a good Sunfang from Tyrion gave him over 50 kills as well. So let's jump back into this fight. We're going to speed through some things and take a look at some stuff that I know I'd blundered through, that it's really down to one or two little clicks. And we'll see this through some of the other quick battles that I show you throughout the week here. So let's pause this and jump back into the fight. All right, so we're recording again. Let me get you right to where we want to be, guys. So fast forward. One thing I will say with the build initially on my part, Felkon was saying 2 Swordmasters of Hoeth, a little bit overkill. You could have been fine with just one and maybe even another archer unit. Fast. Where is it? So that was a pretty devastating little breath attack, but nothing too huge. A lot of the big mistakes that I made were in the latter portion of the game. What Felkon was saying is this is a really good play, is having your archer units attack heavy into your Dark Riders, any skirmisher cap, because they'll lock them down so quickly. Like you see how that quickly we deleted this one unit? So what I should have done really is keep these guys firing onto the Dark Riders the entire time. Be damned what Vlokir Felhard is doing. And unfortunately, this left flank took a long time to wheel in and assist me. That really hindered this unit from keeping high effectiveness because it was shut down quickly. Felkon was saying a masterful little juke right here. This was a really good pivotal play for me because it allowed me to really keep the balance of power bar from dipping too wildly, from Tyrion just getting gooned down fast. The response from Occam's Mindrazor and Dreaded Duelist by doing Stand Your Ground and Harmonic Convergence on Tyrion is a really, really good way to just kind of buffer those two things. And that honestly wasn't me looking at Occam's Mindrazor and Dreaded Duelist. It was me just thinking that, okay, he's going to use Dreaded Duelist. I should counter those things. So really kind of when you're getting into these engagements, look for stuff like that. Be mindful of the abilities of other lords so that you can try and counter them with your own abilities and not get too bogged down in using them too reactively or too proactively, in the sense of saying like, okay, I'm going to use Stand Your Ground before jumping into this horde over here. That's not going to do you much favors. Use Stand Your Ground in situations where you want to get more melee defense to help you out in a big critical moment, or use Foe Seeker to help replenish your vigor when you're not in a big crunching moment, to help when you are in those big crunching moments. So let's go fast forward through that. So this is another big issue. This unit of Swordmasters of Hoeth during this major fight was just sitting there. Now I should have pushed it into anything else over here. There's that sun thing I was talking about earlier. That sun thing should have been used way earlier in the game. That was another thing Felkon was saying, is I have access to a lot of AoEs. I should have been using them. AoEs including my bombing runs, which I did not make in the first quarter to first third of the fight at all, and Sunfang, which I didn't use until that moment right there. Use those first and as fast as you can so that you get them replenished for, again, those big crunch moments where you need them. Split fire again from these guys was a little bit of a mistake. Could have just kept them onto there to shut down this portion. These guys were around at the end of the fight, and they could have been shut down real fast before getting compromised by the Hellebroni. So we'll fast forward here. Couldn't have done too much against that Pit of Shades there. Pushing forward. So this fight was a good one, but I think my big issue with it is that I didn't keep enough pressure onto the Sorceress, and I think the Sorceress staying alive was a big thorn in my side throughout a lot of this fight, unfortunately. Fast forwarding a little bit more, and really the last real blunders of my and remember, guys, you know, there are plenty of other mistakes that I made, but I'm just talking about the ones that are really pivotal, the ones that really lost it for me, and I'll show you where they're coming. This situation, it is what it is, using the mass of certain things, using my bombs to try and get any kind of damage I could. Now, unfortunately, this, not being able to shut that down, really hindered me towards the end of the game. Let's get to the big two. These are the ones that I think absolutely lost it for me. Right here. So, I have 3 single entities. They're all spread out. They should have been just coalesced into one little pocket right here. And I should have just waited for the charges, taken the charges, healed up. I knew I had 6 Earthblood, or 6 Winds of Magic. I wanted to use an Earthblood on my Lore Master of Hoeth, but I wanted to bring these two together. You're going to see it right now. And that is like huge. This guy is completely caught out. He doesn't have the amount of speed of these 2 units, and he's going to get shut down. 1, 2, done. So that last minute heal, though, could have kept me in the game. If I had had that last minute heal, I probably would have been just fine, because had I killed the Chill of Sontar, or at least put it to a point where it fled, I probably would have gotten a cascading route from everything else, and I would have been just fine. Now, the last thing, the last big blunder of the game, coming right here. I think. Nope, not yet. Coming, though. I'm holding down spacebar to show you guys when it happens. Waiting for it. It's right around here. See this? I've moved them out of this fight. They should have been doing damage to the Chill of Sontar. Look how low his health was. Sure, he had Occam's Mind Razor, but my mentality here was, okay, I'm going to get him out of this fight and recharge into it. I should not have done that. I should have just fully committed. If you commit in these engagements like this, you can knock things, leadership down, anything you can do to try and win this fight. By me running, I was actually showing my back, taking more damage, taking more leadership hits, just a lot of bad things. So because of that, we were not able to get all of the goods to kind of trick off here. But this happens, pushing up his health, replenishing his leadership. Then my guy is able to get his big health go up from the Flamespire Phoenix thing, but it was too little too late at that point. This thing starts to flee, then that triggers Tyrion, cascading a leadership loss, and boom, there it is. Those are the the things that really kind of ultimately spelled my demise, especially that stuff at the end. I could have done the rest of the things wrong, but those 2 things at the end are what really broke my back. So let's jump on over now to our hammer of the game and conclude our Mastercast for the day. Right, and here we are with our hammer of the game here. Tyrion chasing down the Chill of Sontar. Boom! Getting a health replenish off of that. Going for a big charge on the Chill of Sontar. Then watch this. A double charge right into that Lore Master of Hoeth. Now, this isn't the most pivotal charge of the game, but it is damn awesome. A double charge out of the Chill of Sontar, and Felkon able to realize that he got one good charge off with Tyrion and able to push into another one right with the Big Daddy Lore Master of Hoeth. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick battle, this Mastercast here today, and hopefully you're enjoying this format in a different way to view quick battles, Mastercasts, and you're learning something from it. I'm learning a ton in doing these battles, so hopefully you are enjoying them as well. But as always, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one, and take care.